So before we get into the actual review for the movie, I thought I would actually do a quick thoughts from before I go see the movie. And I love how I still have to say go see the movie because I'm so used to that for brand new releases when the TV I'm going to watch the movie on is less than a foot away from me. So I definitely did grow up watching Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I think even today it's probably the most well-known of the Disney characters, Chip and Dale. Probably because, as someone who does actually watch a lot of old cartoons, the old Chip and Dale cartoons are not really all that highly regarded. They're just really annoying little rodents who beat up Donald Duck or Pluto, and usually neither of those two deserved what was coming to them. So revitalizing them to be these hero archetypes, not a bad setup. And Rescue Rangers even kind of took some advantage of some of the other popular 80s stuff. I mean, this is probably forgotten by the much younger generations since it was a reference I didn't catch either because I was too young to get it, but Chip and Dale's outfits in that were even a parody of a lot of the action-oriented stuff at the time. Chip's more recognizable outfit is definitely reminiscent of Indiana Jones, but how many of you today will recognize Dale is wearing a Hawaiian shirt because of shows like Miami Vice and Hawaii Five-0? That's not a joke. And now we gotta get into even why I'm doing a review for it so topically. You may look at my channel and notice a lot of my stuff isn't super topical. We do have the best animated feature short films, that's not what they're called. We do have that video on the animated short films that were nominated, but that is as topical as I got. Peach Dragon is not super topical. In all honesty, I'm just gonna straight up say it. If I don't watch the movie now, I'm gonna forget it existed. I'm seeing some early reception of the film, and people are actually saying it's a lot better than they expected it to be. I don't want to throw shade too bad, but I'm not really going to believe that till I see it for myself. I'm a Letterboxd user, and I've seen too many, I didn't like the last Disney live-action remake, but this one was good, and how that's their review every single time one of these come out. There is something about Disney magic, or even just being kind of excited for a product that can sway some people. I'm not fully immune to it, but, I'm not as gung-ho as some. So I genuinely would forget this movie came out if I don't go watch it now. I also want to say something real quick, because this is definitely something that only applies to probably me. When we got the trailer, they revealed that I believe Monty is now a murder victim, and there's going to be like a murder mystery angle. A lot of you probably got Roger Rabbit vibes, like, oh, it's like, Marvin Acme. But, by the way, funny story, a Roger Rabbit review is one of the videos coming in June from me. So that's weird timing, and I definitely think that is also on purpose. Unfortunately for me, when I see, old celebrities from an old TV show find out one of the members has been murdered, the vibe I got was Happy Time Murders. If you don't remember Happy Time Murders, you are probably 95% of people. If you don't remember it or never saw it, which is just as likely, Happy Time Murders wasn't good. Yeah, I guess let's just get into it. I'm gonna go see the film, and just to get this out as soon as I can, because why not? It's gonna be one of those unscripted dealies like the animated short films video, which did pretty well for the channel, so might as well repeat a success, am I right, gamers? So as we're going into my thoughts after actually seeing the movie, just going to put it out here, I likely used trailer footage for the first bit, but the rest of it is just going to be still shots for the movie. The movie is still so new, I feel like it's just safer to do that instead. So there were a couple things I was seeing on social media just before watching the film, because I waited a whole day after the release. Love how this one doesn't seem to be in the don't spoil it crowd. They seem to be nowhere for this one. In fact, I'm probably going to sound a bit more bitter to social media people in this one than a little bit normal. and I apologize for that, because I'm sure plenty of the people who quite enjoyed the movie are just people who enjoyed the movie. I just want to put this. Last night, when I checked what the movie was doing on Letterboxd, it was sitting at a 3.6 already. This morning, after I watched the movie and go log in for myself, it's sitting at a 3.5. I'm going to take a good guess that a couple of months from now, it's going to go down to a 3.2 or a 3.1. Unfortunately, a lot of films from big major studios, people get a bit more overly hyped when it first comes out. And I'm not guilty of that myself. Go look at the star rating I gave Detective Pikachu. No idea if I'd still think it's a 3.5 these days, even though I had a great time watching it in the theater. The thing with Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, while I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to compare it to Who Framed Roger Rabbit even cameos in this film, the direct comparison is towards Space Jam 2: A New Legacy. And on those metrics, I think it is a better film in two different ways. Space Jam 2: New Legacy is bogged down by just how overly cliched and kinda safe its plot is. I don't really hate that film like some people do, although I totally get why some people do. It just feels so soft and generic. As for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, it also feels very soft and cliched and generic. Occasionally, it pokes fun at how cliched it is. For my money, those jabs are not really strong enough. It's a case of like, can you believe we're doing this outdated cliche thing? Her. Anyway, please ignore the fact we're doing it now. It's the final evolution of meta humor that I'm starting to get really sick of. I wasn't even annoyed by it all that much here, and I think the humor is much better here than in Space Jam 2: A New Legacy. There are some jokes that actually get a pretty good chuckle out of me. Nothing is laugh out loud funny, but a good chuckle is worth something, and I have to give the movie that. And there's also the whole entire crossover aspect. And what's interesting about this film, and it's amazing how Disney kept this hidden as well as they did until the movie was released, there's a lot more cameos from non-Disney properties than you'd expect. A lot of people saw, the Jimmy Neutron hair and were like, oh wow, that's a cute, cheeky little thing. A lot more of those happen than you think. I mean, Nickelodeon as a brand is name-dropped. And look, I can really get into crossover material. I know it's just a case of like, ooh, that thing I already like, and I can accept that for what it is. So I'm gonna give Rescue Rangers this. There's more of it than I thought, and from different media than I thought, because they were willing to show up the money for stuff that was not just Disney. And when the last thing of this caliber was Space Jam 2, which did branch out from Looney Tunes, but did not branch out past Warner Brothers, it's something to note. But that just leaves what the film is. A very cliched, sometimes affectionate movie that is willing to make fun of the fact it is preying on your nostalgia while preying on your nostalgia. I don't think the meta-commentary, when it is there, really fixes the problems that the narrative has. At least I know that the film isn't taking itself too seriously. That being said, I think it's mediocre at the end of the day, and I am really not surprised by this at all. It's a film that's not utterly going to surprise you, even in the few seconds that you feel like it might, and then it just kinda continues to be the film you were expecting it to be. I've got no real beef with this film at all, as much as I've kind of thrown some shade to the people excusing some of its flaws a bit more. But then again, it's already been a day, and that crowd seems to already have forgotten that they were praising it so hard. Not a bad film? Not inherently a bad film. More mediocre, sometimes alright one. One that we very well will likely forget existed a few months down. Also, hey, last minute edit with Fridge in the background, because this will take a few seconds, but I really need to say this. What was with the animation here? Most things looked pretty good. The uncanny CG stuff, that was actually done pretty well. The hand-drawn characters that were exclusive to just the cameos and stuff, and the really quick bit parts, fine, really good. hand-drawn stuff for the main characters that had this weird, like, attempt 3D kind of look to them, hideous. Wasn't a fan of that. I don't know why we had to look at those characters so much too. When Dale's supposed to have a joke about his CG surgery, and I know they keep saying that it does look good, yeah, it looks better than the rest of the main characters, and that's weird and dumb. Why couldn't they just draw them in the style of the show? You know, updated a little bit instead of this weird 3D thing. Oh, for real, this movie's lucky that I'm reviewing it right now. Won't be surprised if I like this a lot less, if I ever think about it again. Yeah, hi, post-recording Wyatt again with another gripe, because I was just looking through footage for the screenshots and I remembered this film has several references to Muppets. It has the word Muppets. The character you're seeing right here is clearly a parody of the Swedish Chef. Why are there no actual Muppets in the film? They don't appear. Like I said, they're not afraid to say the word Muppet. They're not afraid to reference the Muppets. There's no Muppets. And I really don't understand that one, because that's not a money issue. Muppets is owned by Disney. Part of me feels like there was some genuine enjoyment I had in the first half. That means I can't bring it all the way down to 2. But boy, am I very close to bringing this down to a 2. 2.5 out of 5.